Okay, so hi. Yeah, it's going. Okay. I have an assistant this week, so be able to places at once. I learned last week that it's just a little bit too hard for me to work both can be able to read the comments, but I do have the Q&A on here on Google Hangout, so at any time if you have a question, please feel free to pop that into it. And for the meerkatters who are watching, I have my handy dandy Vanna White. If she wants to wave to the camera, she's welcome to, and she's going to be reading those questions from you guys so that she can relay them to me. So welcome, good morning, Whole Beings. This is Wendy Reese with Whole Being Inc. And today the topic is on satya, which is truth. And it's all about spring cleaning for the soul. And I pulled a card today, and as I threw it on the floor, medicine bundle. And I'm going to get into this in just a little while, what that really means. I spent a lot of time over the past couple days since the tribe said this is what they want me to talk about, thinking about satya, what for everyone to know right now in terms of rediscovering your truth, speaking your truth, living your truth. And what kept coming up for me was a message that comes from Tantra Yoga. And it's the idea that we show up in these human bodies so that we can experience the finite, meaning as a divine infinite being, we got it all. We can do anything. It's expansive, it's free, it's available. In a human form, we're guaranteed that we're going to die, and we experience the shadow qualities of emotions. We can experience limitations, and what Tantra Yoga calls godly play. It's what they come into human form and contract so deeply. How far can they contract and still be able to expand back out into their infinite self? So when we think of the illusion that we create to experience this, we can start to see all of these challenges that we face as an experience that in some way or another, before we came into this body, we wanted to experience. Now, the whole thing about going through the birth canal, you forget all of that, which I think is kind of cool and kind of the same time, because to remember this stuff, it would be a lot easier. But the whole purpose of going through the challenges is to learn how to come back into our truth within these spaces. And that truth is that we are divine infinite beings. So I want to share with you a couple of different things that I have found has helped me as I have shed over the past couple of years. And it's interesting because my Vanna White, who's sitting on the other side of the camera, has known her for 30 years. So she's gotten to see me from the beginning of living in a skin that everybody else, so that I could feel safe. And it's through like her in my life that have kept reminding me that I love you regardless, even when you're in your real, we'll just fill in whatever word she's using at that moment. I know who you are at the core, at part of our soul contract, that we show up that way together. Now, as I've been removing these layers of what people think about me, of worrying about failing someone else and just moving more and more and more into my truth, what I've had to do with different tools that have made that a little bit easier for me. One of those is to say, what if? What if in this moment, with whatever challenge that I'm going through, I could remember my truth, that I am a divine infinite being? What would change? What would I choose to continue to believe? What would I choose to continue to think? What shift could I make in this moment that would give me some freedom outside of that? The next is a post-it note prayer. And I learned this from Robert Ohato. And this is when you put it back onto your guides and you say, all right, guides, I know I'm a divine infinite being, but the challenges that I'm facing right now just effing suck. And I don't know how to look at this from that infinite perspective. And I don't know how to remember all of my power, all of my wisdom. So hook me up. I need some help here. Can you send me some signs? Can you send me somebody to remind me? Can you help me remember in some capacity what this soul con? Why would I want to be in a place of pain? Why would I want to be in a place of anger? Why would I want to be in a place of loneliness? Why would I want to be so insecure that I had to be something for everybody else and shut myself off, shut my own light off? Help me out. Help me to remember that I am light and I am love. So those two things help a lot. Now, here's where I really wanted to take this today, because I had a conversation this week with somebody that I'm extremely close to and love deeply around insecurity and loneliness. And having spent many, many years being in this person's life, what I have always thought was that this person is absolutely brilliant. One of the most charismatic people that I know. If this person had an ounce of Bill Clinton's belief in himself, belief in their self, that this person have done an amazing amount with their life. But because they didn't believe in themselves, because from a very early on place, this person chose to come into this finite body with a particular limitation that really made them an outcast in their younger years. It wasn't acceptable to be this. And so this person had to wear all of these masks throughout their lives, and by shutting down their own light, they became very insecure. And maybe that's why this person is so charismatic. But even in the charisma, in those alone moments, and you all know what I'm talking about, those alone moments where we are alone with our thoughts and we're thinking, I am unlovable, and if anybody knew the real me, they would run. They'd never love me. I'm not worthy. I suck, basically. I'm nothing. Because there's that part of us that knows our truth that's being hidden. And what I really want to bring home today is that the idea that you are unlovable and that if people really knew you, they would run, that you would be all alone, is one of the biggest lies that you can live. When you are willing to step into your light, when you're willing to pull those masks and those layers off of you that have been hiding that light. Yes, there will be people in your life that leave because there's not a need for them anymore. There's not a need for them to play in that illusion with you. There's not a need for you to play in their illusion anymore. And I think, however, there are people that you are in soul contract with that are waiting for you to show up as you fully, so that the two of you can begin your contracts together. And they can't as long as you're in the contract with somebody else. So the idea that if I show up as me, I'm not going to be accepted, I'm not going to be loved, is just total bullshit, you guys. Let it go. Have faith. My mentor Gil told me a story one time. Faith is a lot like when you go and you run. I think of the Road Runner and Coyote. I always have this cartoon image in my mind when I think about this. You go running off that cliff, and I don't know how the Road Runner always were like beep beep, and Coyote was like, oh bleep, and is on his sign, and he's splat, and he never died. It's a cartoon, which is awesome. When you run off that cliff, two things will happen. One of two things. You'll either be scooped up by that net, kind of like the Roadrunner is totally safe. You're going to be scooped up by that net and you're going to be put over onto the other side. Or you're going to go to the cool thing about the bottom is, much like the Coyote, there's not a death there. It's more like having a big trampoline waiting. And when you hit it, think about falling from a trampoline, how far you would bounce. You're literally, when you take that leap and you allow yourself to surrender and go into the depths, when you trampoline and you springboard, you go so much further than the borders of your imagination. And when you reach that place, there are people waiting for you, and those relationships are so much better than you can possibly imagine. So I want to invite you, I'm going to pause. If you have any questions, please feel free. Comments, you can put them in either of the places. And wow, it's really windy outside. The fireplace has suddenly started over there. And we're going to go into a guided meditation. I want to take you on this, and then I'm going to finish up. I'll answer any questions, and then I'll finish up with telling you about the medicine bundle card that I pulled for truth. So if you're in a place where you can safely close your eyes and place your feet flat on the floor, I invite you to do that now. If you are driving or if you're working and you can't do this, if you can at least try to press your feet down to the floor, that would be great. And begin to follow your breath in and out of your body, and take a scan from the top of your head all the way down the legs, all the way down to, and notice where you're holding tension. Maybe it's in the shoulders, maybe it's in the chest, maybe it's in your belly, your low back, the middle back, hips, wherever you're holding tension. Bring your awareness to that place. And ask yourself, what emotion is being held in this tension? Is it fear, doubt, unworthiness, anxiety? Is it anger, shame, guilt? Is it sadness? Is it something else? And once you have identified an emotion, just in your head repeat, I feel, whatever that emotion is, I feel fear, I feel unworthy, I feel anxious, I feel sad, I feel lonely, I feel insecure, whatever it may be, just Keep repeating it. Keep repeating it. With each breath, repeat it again. And now take your awareness to that place where the tension was and notice how it feels. And think of what would be the light quality of whatever emotion that you were feeling. So if it was fear, it's confidence. If it was sadness, maybe it's joy. If it's loneliness, maybe it's love. And repeat to yourself now, I am joy, love, confident, secure, peace. And keep repeating it with each breath. I am whatever the light quality of that emotion is. Now, notice how that tension feels. Has it changed locations? And create a that is representative of your truth, of your satya, of your most expansive self. Maybe it is, I am a divine infinite being. Maybe it is, I am pure consciousness, or I am love. And repeat that with each breath. This opens you up into an expansive place. I am pure consciousness. I am a divine infinite love. And now just take a moment to follow your breath in and out. Notice how your heart responds when I ask, are you willing to live your truth? Do you feel contracted? Do you feel expansive? Are you willing to speak your truth? Do you feel contracted? Do you feel expanded? Are you willing to discover it if it still feels very elusive to you now? And as you begin to bring your awareness back to your body, if you have your eyes closed, slowly open them and come back into the room. And don't have any questions on the Hangouts. We have so what I'm going to tell you guys, the medicine bundle card that we have is a message coming up around you are not alone. As you step into your most authentic skin, as you step into your truth, as you begin to speak your truth and stop worrying about what everybody else, know that you are not alone. You are supported energetically with your guides, your angels, your archangels. You are supported by soul contracts that you may not even be aware that you have yet. Be willing to see what is happening around you. Maybe little signs, maybe a hummingbird right in front of your face, like what happened to a client of mine just before I got onto the live stream today as we were talking. Maybe you start things and always on the side that says, in God we, maybe it's a book or a song that you've heard a million sudden up or it plays on a certain sentence that, yeah, maybe it's, as this morning, they had decided a couple of minutes ago that they need to bring wholeness into their life. And now everywhere they go, this word whole is coming up, and they were directed to me and my business is Whole Being Inc. There's so many ways that you can start to notice what is coming up for you as your medicine. And what points are coming up for you? What challenges are coming up? Because if you're willing to go into that, that's part of your medicine, your opportunities to heal. So when you're feeling that anger, when you're feeling that loneliness, if you are willing to go down into your being and say, all right, what part of me is feeling like they're not worthy of being loved? What part of me is feeling like I'm not being heard? Or what part of me is frustrated that this person in my life is not living up to their highest self and they're projecting all of their illusion onto me and I'm sick of it? When you're willing to go into those places, you really start to bring healing to it. And as you are willing to love and accept those pieces of you, you begin to live your truth. That's what that discovery of truth is. So I'm going to check in one more time. I don't have any questions on the Hangouts, no questions on the Meerkat. You can always email me, Wendy at wholebeinginc.com, and send Twitter at wholebeinginc. And listen, if you're ready to clearing out the stuff in your soul, you can do 7-day detox. It's a little bit intense, but I promise you it will change. Our website at wholebeinginc.com/detox. And while you're there, sign up for the tribe because there's going to be a big announcement coming up in about the next month, something new that's being offered that I'm really, really excited about. It allows me to step into my skin more authentically. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I think it's going to be awesome. I think you guys are going to dig it. So check out, sign up for the list, sign up for the detox, ask questions on Twitter, on Facebook, on email, and we also have Being Inc. community that you can join on Facebook. So I'm pretty active in that. If anybody has questions, join us there. Infinite love and gratitude. Until next time, be whole.